Sadika, you're watching Now at Noon. English news here for you on Now 26 with me, Chao Ratnjanan. We start this week in a reflection of what happened on Friday evening as the General Prayut Chan-o-cha, the head of the Ncpo, has come out with his roadmap for democracy for Thailand. Today, we are also seeing the Defense Ministry Permanent Secretary Kun Surasak Kanchanarat speaking of his discussions with the Election Commission on the election reforms, saying there are 11 main points. One of these points is political reforms, which have been divided to 11 main points. They are 6 categories of 1. Judicial structure, 2. Administrative structure, fair elections, 4. Checks and balances, including punishments that could equate to the removal of persons that have been found wrong out of their office or positions, political party reforms, and lastly, power distribution. Today's meetings continue on with challenges of the election and loopholes of corruption. Discussions with representatives of the Pheu Thai and the Democrat Party will be taken into account. Thailand's National Council for Peace and Order, or Ncpo, last week announced a timeline for the country to return to democracy, with a general election to be held late next year. General Prayut Chan-o-cha, the head of the Ncpo, says in a nationally televised address that the provisional constitution will be approved by the Ncpo shortly for the enforcement by the end of this month. Afterwards, the National Assembly will be set up in August, while the Provisional Cabinet will be set up in September, to be followed by the establishment of the National Reform Council. Well, in the meantime, the United States has done a very significant move towards the Ncpo by not inviting the generals to the celebration of the Independence Day on July the 4th. This is a very significant move, showing that perhaps now there is some seriousness into what the United States government has to say about the military government here in Thailand. The U.S. Embassy in Bangkok has not extended an invitation to any of the key member of the military government to attend its Independence Day celebration this week. Washington has discouraged formal associations or celebrations with Thai military officers who are directly involved in the military coup that occurred on May 22nd to topple the elected government, according to a diplomatic source. People started receiving the invitations last week, but General Prayut Chan-o-cha and 4 of his deputies did not get one. The ruling National Council for Peace and Order spokesperson Colonel Virashon Sukhon Thapatipak confirmed that the U.S. Embassy did not invite any senior military officers. However, according to a source, many colonels that did get their invitations may not attend as they wish to make a statement against the U.S. stance with the Thai government. Washington has cut its $4.7 million worth of military assistance to Thailand and canceled many activities and joint exercises in response to the power seizure. In the meantime, there is now controversy on the recent appointment of a man onto the Board of Energy. This is something that has brought now protesters in front of the military headquarters. Groups of people concerned about the energy issues here in the country gathered in front of the Army headquarters on Ratchatamnon Road this morning to protest against the junta's appointment of energy guru Piasawat Amratnan to the board of PTT. The group was wearing black to express their opposition to Piasawat getting a post at the national oil and gas conglomerate. Lieutenant Colonel Kamponpan Tiwapansi, the leader of the People's Network for the Protection of Thailand, says they disagreed with Piasawat being on a board or member status because they had supported, or he rather had supported, privatizing PTT in the past. He was energy minister during the military-appointed government after the coup in 2006, when petroleum concessions were granted for as many as 30 fields, the most among other governments. The ousted Thaksin government only granted concession to 19 fields. She also adds that Piasawat was allegedly involved in, quote, relaxing the Petroleum Act on fuel concessions and a reduction in concession fees. Well, a famous insurance company, Ncpo'S, has decided they will be expanding now to receive the AEC in other countries other than Thailand. Those include our neighboring countries such as Cambodia, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Laos. Ncpo'S has said that as a major non-life insurance firm, it plans to be a regional company within the next 3 to 5 years. Managing Director Ncpo'S says the company had received a license from the Laotian authority to sell both life and non-life insurance. In the first stage, it will focus on construction of all risk or CAR insurance to cash in on the rising number of construction projects in the country. The company in Laos is named Ncpo'S Insurance Laos. With registered capital of 60 million baht, it was established by the Ncpo'S Group in cooperation with 2 other Thai insurance groups, Panichawa Group of Companies and Southeast Insurance Group of Companies are the majority shareholders, with 80% and the remaining 20% being held by an individual or individual Laotian investors. Ncpo'S Insurance holds a 10% stake in Ncpo'S Insurance Laos. Ncpo'S aims for a total premium income of $6 million or 195 million baht in the first year of operation of the Laotian venture. Let's take a short break. Up next, we'll be talking further about the stock market here in Thailand and, of course, the rest of the world, whether there is going to be a bubble.